Since January 1st, New York State's criminal law has been near the top of people's minds. 2 new laws took effect dealing with the discovery and dealing with bail reform. WENY's Nicholas Phillips joins us in the studio with a special report on these changes. Nicholas?
Nick, someone charged with any one of these could be free awaiting trial. We're talking second-degree manslaughter or third-degree assault. The new reform makes it so judges can't set bail on any of these charges. New York's criminal laws are making headlines. The new bail reform law prohibits judges from setting cash bail on some crimes.
You also have a felony prosecution that began October 11th.
After arraignment, some defendants can walk while awaiting to be indicted. Chemung County DA Weeden Wetmore says some bail reform was needed.
I understand the bail reform in the sense that if a person can't afford bail, he's got to sit in jail, whereas somebody with perhaps financial resources, comes from a family of money, maybe he's going to post bail.
Steuben County Public Advocate Sean Soro says a case downstate was the catalyst.
There was a recent event downstate having to do with Rikers Island, which sort of became the poster case for wanting to change the reforms, and it had to do with a young man who ended up in Rikers Island.
Soro is referring to Khalif Browder.
You're supposed to be innocent to prove guilty.
Browder was arrested and held at Rikers Island. He served over a year in prison, much in solitary confinement. He later killed himself.
If I would have just been played guilty, then my story would have never been heard. Nobody would have took the time to listen to me.
The list includes stalking, jostling, and contempt. But Wetmore argues that there's a major risk with some of the more violent felonies. Dangerous felonies that fall under the law include second-degree vehicular manslaughter, second-degree manslaughter, and criminally negligent homicide.
It's the middle of a bar fight. The police are called. The person is brought into the police station. He's arrested for assault third. Normally in the past, the judge might set bail, might put him over in a county jail, but now the judge's got to say, you're released, come back on such and such an appearance date.
Wetmore says in this case, a defendant could potentially go back to the bar, but Soro says detaining someone can have damaging effects. Soro says being in jail just a day can have life-altering consequences.
By being incarcerated, it can actually do a lot more harm than it does good. And in a lot of cases, if you weren't indigent when you went into jail, if you can't make bail by the time you get out, you probably are because you don't have a job anymore.
Traditionally, the district attorneys in Chemung County, and I can only speak for Chemung County, although I know district attorneys throughout the state, we all try to seek justice. I tell my attorneys to be fair in asking for bail, in asking to assure somebody's appearance.
In Steuben County, 26-year-old Javon Harris was arrested for grand larceny on the 17th. On the 18th, he was arrested again. Less than 12 hours after that, he was rearrested. For all 3 incidences, police say he was released back into the public. Harris was arrested after a 4th run-in in Hornell. Sheriff Jim Allard says it took 4 arrests to get him. At what point of time do we realize the rights of victims of crimes outweigh the criminals? He went on to say, as much as we try to educate, now people are seeing the real-life effects of this. Senator Tom O'Mara isn't optimistic there will be a change.
This was passed in the budget last year. Every Democrat senator voted for it, and not one Republican senator voted for it back then. So this is very much split on party lines.
But he renewed his call for amendments and a repeal. But Cuomo is standing by it. Wetmore also remains skeptical.
I think justice will initially suffer. We're already seeing it downstate with some of the people that have been released and that are victimizing other people.
But in Soro's opinion,
by allowing the judges some discretion here in New York, I think that would go a long way to help sort of mitigate some of the concerns.
This comes as we continue to see the after effects of the new bail reform law. And in part 2, we'll look at how the new discovery law could affect upcoming cases, plus how it could alter how DAs handle witness testimony. Back to you.